2 Chronicles Chapter 34. Josiah ascended to the throne at the tender age of 8, reigning over Jerusalem for a total of 31 years. Throughout his rule, he steadfastly followed the righteous path in the eyes of the Lord. He walked in the footsteps of his ancestor David, never swaying to the right or left. In the 8th year of his reign, while still young, he began his quest to seek the God of his father David. By the 12th year, he initiated a purification campaign in Judah and Jerusalem, eliminating the high places, groves, carved images, and molten idols. Josiah ordered the destruction of Baal's altars, cutting down the images that stood above them. He shattered the groves, carved images, and molten idols, turning them into dust and spreading it over the graves of those who had sacrificed to them. He even burned the bones of the priests on their own altars, purifying Judah and Jerusalem. His efforts extended to the cities of Manasseh, Ephraim, Simeon, and Naphtali, where he demolished altars and idols with determination. After successfully dismantling altars, groves, and idols throughout the land of Israel, Josiah returned to Jerusalem. In the 18th year of his reign, having cleansed the land and the house of the Lord, he dispatched Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, Maaseiah, the city governor, and Joah, the son of Joahaz and the recorder, to oversee the repair and restoration of the house of the Lord his God. Upon their arrival at the high priest Hilkiah's residence, they presented the funds collected by the Levites guarding the temple doors. These funds came from Manasseh, Ephraim, the remnant of Israel, Judah, and Benjamin. The money was placed in the hands of the workmen responsible for repairing and restoring the house of the Lord. It was used to purchase hewn stone, timber for couplings, and materials to restore the houses that the kings of Judah had demolished. The work was carried out diligently, overseen by Jahath and Obadiah, Levites from the sons of Merari, as well as Zechariah and Meshullam, from the sons of the Kohathites, who were skilled in musical instruments. These men also supervised the laborers and those responsible for various aspects of the work. Among the Levites, there were scribes, officers, and porters involved in this collective endeavor. As the funds were brought out from the house of the Lord, Hilkiah the priest discovered a book of the law of the Lord, given by Moses. Hilkiah informed Shaphan the scribe about the discovery, and then handed the book over to him. Shaphan brought the book to the king and reported that everything entrusted to his servants had been faithfully executed. The money collected for the house of the Lord had been turned over to the overseers and workmen. Shaphan then revealed to the king that Hilkiah the priest had given him a book. Upon the king's request, Shaphan read from the book before him. Upon hearing the words of the law, King Josiah tore his clothes as a sign of distress. He issued orders to Hilkiah, Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, Abdon, the son of Micah, Shaphan the scribe, and Maaseiah, a servant of the king, instructing them to inquire of the Lord for both himself and the remaining people of Israel and Judah. He wanted to understand the consequences of not adhering to the words of the book they had found. The king was deeply concerned because their ancestors had not followed the law of the Lord as outlined in the book. Hilkiah and those appointed by the king went to Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tikvath and keeper of the wardrobe. She resided in Jerusalem in the college. They sought her guidance, and she conveyed the message from the Lord God of Israel, saying, "The Lord declares that he will bring disaster upon this place and its inhabitants, as written in the book you have read to the king of Judah. This is because they have forsaken the Lord and offered incense to other gods, provoking him with their deeds. His wrath will be poured out upon this place and will not be quenched." Concerning King Josiah, they were instructed to relay the following message. "Because your heart was tender and you humbled yourself before God when you heard his words regarding this place and its inhabitants, and because you tore your clothes and wept before him, the Lord has heard your prayers. You will be gathered to your ancestors in peace, without witnessing the impending evil that will befall this place and its inhabitants." Huldah's message was conveyed to the king. Josiah then gathered all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem, ascending to the house of the Lord along with the men of Judah, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the priests, Levites, and all the people, both great and small. Standing in his place, the king made a covenant before the Lord. He pledged to walk in the ways of the Lord, observing his commandments, testimonies, and statutes with all his heart and soul, faithfully performing the words of the covenant inscribed in the book. Josiah encouraged everyone in Jerusalem and Benjamin to follow suit, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem did indeed adhere to the covenant of the God of their ancestors. Josiah's zeal extended to removing all the abominations from the lands that belonged to the children of Israel. He caused all who were present in Israel to serve the Lord their God. Throughout his reign, the people remained steadfast in their devotion to the Lord, the God of their ancestors.